to some degree, even South Africa, growth is important is that, look, in the rich countries, there is enough income that you can possibly redistribute. And we saw some of this redistribution happen recently during COVID era, both in the United States and European Union. But for poor countries, there's just not enough income. And especially, when Nehru started in India in the 1950s, even he would say that, look, right now, if we rely on redistribution, all we can do is to redistribute poverty. There was just not enough income to redistribute. Also, politically, I think in a growing economy, redistribution becomes a lot easier. So if you can grow rapidly, resources are becoming available, government revenues are rising, and those can then be used to do redistribution. And India certainly, during this high growth phase, also did redistribution. Some of the anti-poverty programs, which is the National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme that was started, some of the food security, which involves selling food at highly subsidized prices to the poor, those programs could be funded and carried out. So redistribution also became a little easier because of growth. One last point, I really think, this is something I'd not seen even till I'd written this book, Why Growth Matters, which is what we discussed 9 years ago on this platform, only that we were live at that time. I was in South Africa there. Is that, looking back on India's experience, rapid growth of the kind that countries like South Korea and Taiwan and Singapore were able to generate in the 60s, 70s, and 80s simply cannot be generated without inclusion. I think that was the experience of India. India went straight into very heavy industries. Right, so your income was low, savings rate was only 7%. So you tried to invest in these heavy industries. 3 or 4 steel mills basically took away all your savings. All your investments went there. They didn't generate much employment, much jobs. So the rest of the population remained completely outside. This is what development economists used to call dualistic development. That you're creating these pockets of development, but nobody else is included in that process of development. So in a way, my thinking now is that, if you're really going to get 8, 9, 10% kind of growth without inclusion of those at the bottom rung, particularly in a country where labor is the abundant factor of production, where, lots of workers, not enough capital, you just can't do rapid growth without their inclusion.